Hey everyone, welcome to the show. If this is your first time here, I'm Bella, and this is the podcast where we take everyday English, the stuff native speakers actually say, not the stiff textbook version, and break it down phrase by phrase so you can start using it with real confidence. Today's episode is a big one, so settle in, maybe grab a coffee or tea because we've got a full hour together. We're going through a huge collection of everyday phrases organized into 6 themes: greetings and small talk, being busy and tired, making plans, being polite and diplomatic, phrases about work and effort, and finally phrases about decisions and everyday attitude. By the end of this episode, you'll have somewhere around 70 new expressions in your toolkit, and more importantly, you'll understand when and how to actually use them, not just what they technically mean on paper. One quick tip before we dive in: don't try to memorize all of these in one sitting. That's a recipe for forgetting most of them by tomorrow. Instead, listen once for understanding, let it wash over you, then come back and listen again in a day or two. And here's the part that actually matters most. Try using 2 or 3 of these in your own real conversations this week. Text a friend using one. Say one out loud to yourself in the mirror if you have to. That repetition in real context is what actually makes a phrase stick in your long-term memory, far more than just hearing it once. Alright, coffee in hand, let's get into it. Let's start with the phrases you'll hear the moment you say hello to someone, the small, almost automatic exchanges that happen dozens of times a day. How's it going? This is a relaxed, casual way of asking, how are you? You'd use it with friends, co-workers you're close with, family, basically anyone you're comfortable around. Picture this. You're walking down the hallway at work, you pass a coworker, and they toss out a quick, "Hey, how's it going?" That's it. It's just a friendly little check-in. Nobody's expecting a detailed life update, and nobody wants one either. If someone asks you this, don't overthink your answer. Something like, "Pretty good, just a little busy," works perfectly fine. Here's a small scene to picture. 2 co-workers pass each other by the coffee machine on the Tuesday morning. One says, "Hey, how's it going?" and keeps walking almost without waiting for a full answer, because the phrase itself, more than the answer, is really the point. It's a social gesture, a tiny nod that says, "I see you, I'm friendly," more than a genuine, deep inquiry into your well-being. One thing worth noting, this phrase is genuinely casual, so you probably won't open a formal email with it. But in speech, it works with almost anyone you're not being extremely formal with. What's up? Very similar energy to how's it going, just even more casual and a little more American in flavor. It can mean how are you, or it can literally mean what's happening right now. Context tells you which one is meant. If you walk into a cafe and spot a friend, "Hey, what's up?" is a totally natural greeting. A common reply is something like, "Not much, just thinking about what to have for lunch." Here's the interesting part. What's up also works as a way to ask what someone wants to talk about. If a friend texts you out of nowhere and just says, "Hey," you might reply, "What's up?" meaning, "What did you want to tell me? What's going on?" It's flexible that way, doing double duty as both a greeting and a genuine question depending on the moment. Long time no see. This one's for reconnecting after a while apart. Maybe you bump into an old friend at the park, or run into a coworker after a long vacation, or spot someone from college at a random coffee shop years later. It's a quick, warm way to say, "Hey, it's been a while," without making things feel forced or overly sentimental. Picture this scene. You're grabbing groceries on a Saturday afternoon, and out of nowhere you spot a friend you haven't seen in maybe a year. Long time no see, you say, genuinely surprised. They laugh and say, I know, right? It's been forever. How's everything? And just like that, a 5-minute grocery store catch-up begins. People often follow it up with something like, what have you been up to? And that opens the door naturally into a real conversation without any awkward silence first. Keep in touch. This phrase has a bit more heart to it than the others so far. It means staying connected with someone even after you stop seeing them regularly. You'll hear it most during goodbyes. A close friend moving to another city, a coworker leaving for a new job, a classmate graduating and heading somewhere far away. Saying let's keep in touch is basically your way of saying I still want you in my life even though things are changing. Imagine this moment. A coworker you've genuinely enjoyed working with tells you she's moving across the country next month. There's a small pause, and then you say, well, let's keep in touch, okay? She smiles and says, definitely, I'll send you postcards. It's warm and genuine, and honestly, people really do appreciate hearing it, even if life sometimes gets in the way of actually following through. Catch up. This one actually has two completely different meanings, and you'll hear both constantly, so pay close attention to context. The first meaning is about reconnecting, running into an old friend and saying, we should catch up soon, meaning you want to hear everything that's changed in their life since you last spoke. A classic version of this is, let's grab coffee and catch up sometime. The second meaning is completely unrelated. It's about getting back on track with something you've fallen behind on. Missed a week of work because you were sick? I need to catch up on my emails. Haven't watched the latest episode of your favorite show because life's been busy? I still need to catch up on that. Here's a quick scene showing both. Two friends are chatting, and one says, we haven't talked in ages. We should catch up soon. A little later in the same conversation, the other friend admits, honestly, I'm still trying to catch up on emails from this week. Same 3 words, 2 completely different jobs. That rings a bell. Use this when something feels familiar, but you can't quite place exactly why. Maybe someone mentions a name, a word, or an event, and instead of saying a flat, I don't remember, you say, that rings a bell, meaning it sounds familiar, even if the specific details are a little fuzzy in your memory. For example, if someone asks whether you've heard the word serendipity before and you're not entirely sure of the meaning but the word feels familiar, that rings a bell is a natural, honest response. It acknowledges partial memory instead of forcing a firm yes or no. That covers our first batch, greetings and reconnecting. Quick recap before we move on. How's it going? What's up? Long time no see, keep in touch, catch up, and that rings a bell. Notice how casual almost all of these are. That's intentional. This is the language of everyday social contact, not formal presentations. So don't be afraid to sound relaxed when you use them. Now let's move into a theme we can probably all relate to a little too well. Been busy, tired, and constantly short on time. English actually has a surprising number of different ways to express this, each with a slightly different flavor. I'm swamped. This means you're really busy or overwhelmed, too much on your plate at once. You might use it at work, at school, or even at home if there's just a lot going on all at once. If a friend asks for help with something that you genuinely can't manage it right now, sorry, I'm swamped. I've got 3 deadlines today. is a clear, honest way to say no without sounding dismissive or unhelpful. It communicates that it's not about not wanting to help, it's about genuinely being buried. On the go. This describes that constant, always moving lifestyle, rushing from one place to the next, barely a second to breathe between commitments. I've been on the go all week means more than just a regular busy. It means non-stop moving busy, the kind where you barely sit down. Sometimes people say this almost proudly, like it's a badge of honor, a sign of an exciting, full life. Other times, it's said with a tired sigh, like they desperately need someone to tell them to slow down. Picture a friend describing their week. Crazy week. I've been on the go non-stop, barely had time to eat. The listener's natural response might be, sounds like you need to settle down a bit, which brings us to a phrase we'll cover a little later. Running late. Super useful for those days when everything takes longer than expected. If you're supposed to meet someone at 3 o'clock and you're still at home at 2:45, texting, "Hey, I'm running late, I'll be there in 20 minutes," is a polite, clear, and lets the other person adjust their expectations without any unnecessary drama or apology spiral. It's a phrase built for exactly one job, and it does that job efficiently. I'm beat means you're exhausted. After a long day at work or a full day of running errands, you might just collapse onto the couch and say, "I'm beat, I need a nap." It's short, casual, and instantly understood by pretty much anyone you say it to. Imagine finishing an intense workout and a friend asks how you're feeling. "Ugh, I'm beat, I need a nap," says it all in 5 words. I'm running on fumes, a slightly more dramatic, vivid way of saying you're exhausted, like a car that's almost completely out of gas. You'd use this after an all-nighter, a long international flight, or a stretch of several days with barely any real sleep. It really emphasizes that you're running on empty, past the point of just being a little tired. Closer to genuinely depleted. I've been traveling for 12 hours, totally running on fumes, paints a much stronger picture than simply say, "I'm tired." Take a break. Simple, but genuinely important. And honestly, one we should all hear more often. It just means pausing to rest for a bit. If you've been studying for hours and your eyes are starting to cross, that's your cue. I need to take a break. Even just 5 minutes away from the screen can make a real difference to how you feel afterward. It doesn't have to be long, it just has to actually happen. Call it a day. For when you're just done. You've worked on something for hours, your brain feels completely fried, and you finally say, "Okay, I think I'm calling it a day." This isn't only for work either. Spend an entire afternoon deep cleaning your house, and at some point you look around and think, "That's enough for now, I'm calling it a day." No guilt attached, you're simply done, and that's completely fine to say out loud. Let's call it a night. Very similar to call it a day, but specifically for the evening, usually meaning it's time to head to bed or wrap things up before sleep. If you're out with friends and it's getting genuinely late, alright, let's call it a night. It's the natural, low-pressure way to start winding things down without it feeling abrupt. Let's hit the hay. A casual, slightly playful way of saying, "Let's go to sleep." You'd use this after a long day, when you're genuinely, physically ready to crash. It has a bit more personality than just flatly saying, "I'm going to bed." a small, friendly bit of humor tucked into an otherwise mundane statement. Burn the midnight oil means working late into the night, studying for an exam, finishing a big project under deadline pressure, or staying up far later than you probably should trying to get something done. It usually implies genuine effort and a bit of sacrifice, not just casually staying up late scrolling your phone for fun. Picture someone bleary-eyed the next morning explaining, "I was burning the midnight oil trying to finish this report." There's a sense of dedication baked into the phrase, even if the result of the next day is exhaustion. Run errands. Those days where there's no single big task looming, but you're still somehow busy the entire day. That's running errands. The bank, the dry cleaner, groceries, the post office, none of them take long individually, but stacked together, they can eat your whole afternoon before you know it. If someone asks what you're doing this weekend, just running errands, nothing exciting, sums it up perfectly and honestly. Let's pause here for a second and recap this whole batch. Swamped, on the go, running late, beat, running on fumes. Take a break, call it a day, call it a night, hit the hay, burn the midnight oil, and run errands. Notice how many different flavors of busy and tired English actually has. It's not just one generic word for everything. Picking the right one with the right intensity makes you sound a little more natural and precise. Let's shift gears now and talk about phrases you'll need when you're making plans with people, or specifically when you're trying to stay flexible and keep things open-minded. Let's play it by ear. For when plans are uncertain and you'd rather decide later instead of logging anything in right now, maybe you're not sure what time you'll be free after work, or the weather might mess up outdoor plans you're considering. Let's play it by ear. I'll text you in the morning once I know my schedule. Keeps things open without forcing an early commitment neither of you can guarantee. It's up in the air means plans are uncertain or not yet finalized, genuinely unresolved. If someone asks whether an event is definitely happening this Friday and you honestly don't know yet, it's still up in the air is the accurate answer. Things could still go either way, and you're not pretending otherwise. It's up to you. Let someone else make the final call on the decision. If a friend asks whether you want pizza or sandwiches, and you're genuinely fine with either option, it's up to you. I'm good with anything. Hands over the decision gracefully without you seeming indifferent, lazy, or unhelpful about it. Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. A great one for dealing with hypothetical problems later instead of stressing about them right now, before they've even happened. If someone worried out loud, "What if it rains during the picnic?" replying, "Let's cross that bridge when we come to it," means we'll deal with it if it actually happens. There's no need to spiral over a maybe that might never even occur. "I'll sleep on it" means you need time before making a decision. No rushing, just letting the idea sit overnight before committing either way. If a friend suggests something spontaneously, like trying skydiving this weekend, and you're not ready to commit on the spot, "Let me sleep on it, ask me again tomorrow," it's a perfect, reasonable, non-committal response that buys you honest thinking time. "I'm on the fence" and "sit on the fence" both describe genuine indecision. You can't quite choose, or you're deliberately staying neutral between two options. "I'm on the fence about which movie to watch tonight," simply means you haven't landed on each option yet, and both still feel equally appealing or equally unappealing. It's a great phrase for those situations where, honestly, both choices seem perfectly fine. Let's shake on it. An informal, almost old-fashioned way of sealing an agreement. Like when you and a friend trade favors. I'll help you move on Saturday if you help me fix my bike on Sunday. Deal, let's shake on it. Locks in the arrangement in a friendly, handshake-worthy way, even if you don't literally shake hands afterward. Just in case. All about being prepared. Not because something will definitely happen, but because it genuinely might. You grab an umbrella even though it probably won't rain. You pack a sweater even though you're not totally sure how cold it'll actually get where you're going. The underlying mindset is simple. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Hit the road means you're leaving, heading out, starting the journey ahead. It works for a big road trip. Alright everyone, let's hit the road. And it also works for just leaving somewhere that's gotten late, like a party that's run its course. It's casual, energetic, and doesn't require a drawn-out, awkward goodbye scene. Quick recap of this segment. Play it by ear. Up in the air. Up to you. Cross that bridge when we come to it. Sleep on it. On the fence. Shake on it. Just in case. And hit the road. These are your go-to phrases whenever plans are loose, uncertain, or still being figured out, which, let's be honest, describes most real-life plans most of the time. This next batch is all about social tact, phrases that help you be honest without being harsh, or polite without sounding fake and hollow. It's not a big deal. Used to downplay something or reassure someone, a way of saying, don't worry about it, it's genuinely not a problem. If someone apologizes for being a few minutes late, it's not a big deal, don't worry about it, you can bring the book tomorrow. Instantly puts them at ease and moves the conversation forward without lingering guilt. It's not my cup of tea. A polite way to say you don't like something, without being harsh or dismissive about it. If someone asks whether you enjoyed a horror movie and it's really not your thing at all, horror movies aren't really my cup of tea. I tend to prefer comedies. It's gentle and non-judgmental. It expresses a preference rather than a criticism. I'm feeling under the weather. A polite way of saying you're sick or not feeling great, without necessarily going into unpleasant detail. Perfect for calling in sick to work or backing out of plans gracefully. Actually, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I think I'll stay home. It's clear without being overly dramatic or oversharing symptoms nobody asked for. It slipped in my mind. A softer, gentler way of saying I forgot. If someone asks whether you did something and you clearly didn't, oh no, it totally slipped in my mind. I'll go grab it right now. Take some of the edge off. It sounds a little less careless and a little more forgivable than a flat, blunt I forgot. I'm just pulling your leg means you're joking or teasing, not being genuinely serious. If you say something outrageous like claiming everyone's getting a month off work and someone reacts with real shock, following up with, relax, I'm just pulling your leg, clears up the confusion immediately and lets everyone laugh it off together. That's the last straw. Used when you finally had enough. The one small thing that tips you over the edge after a whole string of frustrations. First, the printer broke, then the meeting got cancelled, and now the computer's completely frozen. That's the last straw. Captures that very specific feeling of patience finally running out after everything piling up. Take it with a grain of salt means don't believe something completely. Approach a bold or exaggerated claim with a healthy dose of skepticism. If a friend insists some new app will make you fluent in a week, that's advice worth taking with a grain of salt rather than swallowing whole. Let's face it, a way to introduce an honest, sometimes slightly uncomfortable truth without softening it into meaninglessness. Let's face it, the deadline's too tight. We genuinely need more help. Opens the door to saying something real and necessary without endlessly tiptoeing around the obvious. I'm all ears means you're genuinely ready and eager to listen. Fully present for whatever someone's about to say. If a friend says, I need to talk to you about something, replying, sure, I'm all ears, shows real interest. A bit more enthusiasm and warmth than a flat, okay, I'm listening. Hanging there, encouragement for someone who's genuinely struggling. A way of saying, keep going, you're almost through it. Don't give up now. Perfect for a friend deep into exam studying or working late on something exhausting. I know work's been stressful lately, but hanging there, Friday's almost here. It's on me, used when you want to treat someone. Essentially, I'll pay for this one. If you're out with a friend and want to cover their coffee, don't worry about it, it's on me. It's warm and generous without making a big performative deal out of the gesture. Let's recap this segment. Not a big deal. Not my cup of tea. Under the weather. Slipped in my mind. Pulling your leg. The last straw. Take it with a grain of salt. Let's face it. All ears. Hanging there. And it's on me. Notice the common thread running through nearly all of these. They soften something, whether that's bad news, disagreement, forgetfulness, or fatigue. That softening instinct is a huge, often invisible part of how English handles everyday social tact. Now let's talk about the language of productivity, being focused, working hard, occasionally cutting corners when you really shouldn't, and everything in between. Get things done. This one has real energy behind it. It's not just about being busy in the vague sense. It's about being focused, working through a concrete list with no excuses and no procrastinating. I really need to get things done today. It's basically how you psych yourself up for a genuinely packed, demanding day ahead. Let's get down to business. For when it's time to stop chatting and actually focus on the task at hand, shifting deliberately from casual conversation into real, productive work. We've been talking for a while now. Let's get down to business. We only have an hour left. Signals a clear, intentional switch in energy and priorities. I'm on it. Shows you'll handle something right away, with confidence and without hesitation. If your boss asks you to send a report by noon, replying, I'm on it, communicates that you're already moving on the task. No delay, no need for follow-up reminders. Go the extra mile means putting in more effort than was strictly expected, going meaningful beyond the bare minimum required. A client loved the report because you added extra chats nobody specifically asked for. That's a clear, concrete example of going the extra mile for someone. Cut corners, the exact opposite of going the extra mile. It means doing something cheaply, hastily, or carelessly, usually at the cost of quality. like using tape instead of proper glue to fix a shelf because it's quicker, even though everyone knows it won't actually hold long term. Bite the bullet means doing something difficult or unpleasant simply because it has to be done eventually anyway. Finally having that awkward conversation you've been putting off for weeks, or cleaning out a closet that's been dangerously overflowing. You genuinely don't want to, but you bite the bullet and just get it over with. Think outside the box means being creative, approaching a problem for an unconventional angle instead of relying on the obvious expected solution. If your boss asks, "Let's think outside the box," during the meeting, they're explicitly asking for fresh, unusual ideas, not the same tired approach everyone's already tried. Back to the drawing board means starting completely over after something has clearly failed. If a carefully laid plan falls apart entirely, back to the drawing board is the honest, slightly resigned way of saying, "Okay, let's rethink this whole thing from scratch. No shortcuts this time." The ball is in your court means it's now someone else's turn to decide or act. The responsibility has shifted. Once you've done your part, say, booked all the tickets for a group trip, the rest of the planning genuinely becomes the other person's job now. Nothing to do with actual tennis, despite how it sounds on the surface. Throw someone under the bus means blaming someone else, often unfairly, purely to protect yourself. A classic but not especially admirable example is a group project going wrong and one teammate telling the boss or teacher it was someone else's fault entirely, even when it clearly wasn't. Spill the beans means revealing a secret, often one that wasn't meant to come out yet at all. If someone accidentally lets slip details about surprise party weekly early, they've spilled the beans, and now the surprise is completely ruined for everyone involved. Cost an arm and a leg means something is genuinely very expensive, the kind of price tag that makes you wince a little just reading it. A gym membership you barely use, or a designer bag that's honestly hard to justify. Both can easily cost an arm and a leg. Recap for this segment. Get things done. Get down to business. I'm on it. Go the extra mile. Cut corners. Bite the bullet. Think outside the box. Back to the drawing board. The ball is in your court. Throw someone under the bus. Spill the beans, and cost an arm and a leg. This whole batch is essentially the vocabulary of effort, both the honest, hard-working kind and the shortcuts people sometimes take instead of doing things properly. Our final segment covers decisions, mindset, and a handful of expressions that just capture a certain everyday attitude toward life and how we handle it. It's a no-brainer. Means a decision is so obvious it barely requires any real thought at all. Coffee or tea first thing in the morning? For a lot of people, that's a genuine no-brainer, no hesitation required. That's a win-win, used when everyone benefits from a situation. Both sides genuinely come out ahead, with no real loser in the arrangement. If you cook dinner and your roommate cleans the kitchen in exchange, that's a win-win. You both get to avoid the household chore you personally dislike most. You're spot on. A fun, natural way to say someone is exactly, precisely right. If a friend correctly guesses your favorite childhood movie, or accurately predicts how many coffee you had today, you're spot on. How did you know? It's a satisfying, genuine way to confirm it. Hit the nail on the head Very similar in spirit to spot on. It means someone identified exactly the right answer or the real underlying reason for something. If a friend correctly guesses the actual reason you've been stressed lately, they've hit the nail on the head, cutting straight to the truth. In a nutshell, means summarizing something briefly, giving the short, condensed version instead of the full, meandering story. In a nutshell, my whole weekend was laundry, Netflix, and way too much coffee. Wraps this up an entire story into one tidy, efficient sentence. On the same page means everyone genuinely understands and agrees on the plan, sharing the same expectations going in. If two people show up for a camping trip with completely different assumptions, one expecting a cabin with Wi-Fi, the other bringing an actual tent, they were clearly not on the same page beforehand. Cutting edge means super modern or advanced, most commonly associated with technology, but really it can apply to anything impressively up to date, from smartphones to a kitchen oven with an almost comical number of settings. Once in a blue moon describes something that happens very rarely, almost exceptionally so. An occasional slightly guilt-inducing trip to the gym, or a rare phone call from a busy relative who only calls when they need something. Both genuinely qualifies as happening once in a blue moon. Take it easy. Used to tell someone to relax, calm down, and not stress quite so much about something. If a friend is genuinely panicking about an upcoming presentation, take it easy, you've prepared so much already. You're going to do great. Is reassuring without ever dismissing their nervousness as unreasonable. Break a leg, an informal, slightly strange-sounding way to wish someone good luck, especially before a performance, an interview, or any big event. It genuinely sounds odd out of context the first time you hear it, but it's one of the most common good luck expressions in the entire English language. What do you have in mind? Used to ask someone for their idea or plan directly, inviting them to share their thinking rather than you simply assuming what they mean. If a coworker suggests trying a completely new marketing approach, what do you have in mind exactly? Opens the conversation up naturally. It's a piece of cake means something turned out to be really easy, nothing to do with actual cake at all, despite the odd wording. If a test or a big task turned out to be far simpler than expected, oh, honestly, that was a piece of cake, captures just how effortless it genuinely felt. That's our final batch. No-brainer, wing-wing, spot on, hit the nail on the head. In a nutshell, on the same page, cutting edge, once in a blue moon, take it easy, break a leg, what do you have in mind, and piece of cake. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. We covered a genuinely huge amount of ground together. Greetings and small talk, being busy and exhausted, making flexible plans, being polite and diplomatic, working hard, or occasionally cutting corners, and finally, decisions and everyday attitude. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend who's also learning English. It genuinely helps the show grow, and it might help them exactly the way it helped you. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And let me know down below which phrase from today surprised you the most, or which one you're most excited to actually try using this week.